Things look so familiar. They're not really on Earth, yeah, it's a galaxy far, far away. Alien DNA, walking around every day. It's a place where furry creatures dance, but they're not teddy bears. They're an alien equivalent, and they may range in familiar trees, but it's not the redwood you see. It's something else in there. Time to break it down, down, down. Yeah, I was big in Japan. I was king of ping pong. Yeah, I was bad at tuba, and I'm sure you'd like me to bounce. Master, I need one of these. Do they come in threes? Cause I need to squeeze them. Yeah, I was big in Japan. I was king of ping pong. Yeah, I was bad at tuba, and I'm sure you'd like me to bounce. Sometimes a moment when you wish you could run and hide is when you find you need a new hyperdrive.
Able to share that video with you.
Christian says, don't stop it. We need to keep it going.
We will share the links to everything in this meetup, including, we got to leave you all with some teasers.
Welcome, everyone. So great to have you all here. We still have more people coming in, which is great, but we did figure it's probably time to get started. Adam is going to be driving the slides today for us, which is great. But welcome to our Unconference, our meetup style, which we'll be telling you all about this style of meetup today, but focus on how can the Community Dojo help you. So we're really excited to test this. We have everyone joining in from, I think, around the world. We have some really great representation and a lot of well-known leaders. I'm recognizing a lot of these names, so this is fantastic. We will kick it into just giving you an intro into ourselves for those of you who are not familiar with us and who will be guiding the session. But first, let me give a nice frame on how we will be going through today's session. Sorry, Adam, I switched it up a little bit on you. So today we are having a 90-minute session, and like the note down there, drop whenever you need to. So the law of 2 feet, or as we like to say in the virtual world, the law of 2 clicks, is that if you need to leave, or if you are not feeling that it's as valuable for you, any rhyme or reason, you are more than able to just say a nice goodbye and head out. So today's session will include, if you can click in next, we'll have our intros and our warm-up activities that we will be doing. And then we'll be setting the frame on where the Community Dojo started and how this connects into our Unconference that we will be having today. And we'll start setting goals, choosing topics, and that will move us into our breakout sessions. So we'll be having discussion groups. So this meetup, we're really gonna test in the virtual space and Zoom's breakout room functionality, how we can break out into discussion groups around those topics, and then we'll be circling back together to have share outs. So yeah, we'll move into our introductions, and it's great. We're still admitting new people rolling in. So thank you for those who are just starting to join us. My name is Rachel Hartley, and I'm the program manager of the Autodesk Group Network. And I will be a co-facilitator today with Adam, who will be the main facilitator. And when we get to the breakout rooms, I will be supporting the breakout room session of today. And I'll hand it off to Michelle to give her introduction.
Hi, I'm Michelle Hood. I work for JMT outside of Baltimore, Maryland. I am a Civil 3D support technician at our company, and I also help to facilitate our Civil 3D user group. And today I am going to be monitoring our chat and also helping to run the rooms.
Thanks, Michelle.
You're welcome.
I'm Adam. I'm on the community team with Rachel, helped start the group network program last year. Last year, we actually did an unconference session for the community team, which was pretty fun before AU, and I'm glad to be able to share this methodology virtually with all of you today. I've found it to be a really great way to have good conversations.
Awesome. So like Adam said, the Unconference was something that we tested last year in a physical space. So before we start today, we're just gonna set getting a lay of the land and some of the norms. So definitely the first of all things is be patient with us as we try this new virtual Unconference format. It's new for us in the virtual aspect, so we're just gonna roll with it and be definitely fluid and adaptable, which I think the year 2020 has taught us all to do. And if you can, turn on your video if you feel comfortable. This is going to be one where we are talking with each other, trying to replicate that physical environment as much as we can. So we would love just to see all of you, and no worries if not. Realize we did not change this for any tech questions. Michelle might not necessarily be a Zoom tech expert, but if you are having just any questions during your time, you can put that into the chat. And then please mute yourself if you are not talking. It definitely helps tremendously with the background noise. That will be great, as just giving the respect for everyone when they are talking. And then when you are ready to talk, you have full mute, unmute rights. And then make sure you have a paper or pencil handy, and you'll see in the nature of an unconference, we definitely just act and edit as we go. So this is nothing super formal today. But yeah, have a paper and writing utensil handy or an open Word doc so that you can be taking notes. And then gallery view definitely helps to see everyone's faces when we don't have a presentation going. So just some norms. Moving into then today, and where this all began. So like Adam mentioned, we did an unconference style with our community team, but we actually hosted a roundtable discussion with Donnie Gladfelter last year at AU Las Vegas. And we were focused on, what does it take to build a successful user group? And it was really great. This is actually how we met Michelle. I think this was our first encounter with Michelle. She was there just listening in. But what we did was we had a very similar aspect. We had topics and prompters started. So we had a set of items that we thought would be a really great discussion ideas, but then we had our participants, our people who were attending, drive what were the most relevant questions to them and what they wanted to talk about. So if Adam, you pop up the next two pictures for us, you'll see a little bit of what that looked like just on paper. And then with those dots, we had people voting, and that helped facilitate what our discussion was going to be. And all of this knowledge and the conversations that we had, all of the notes that we took, this formed into the Community Dojo. And so the next picture will show, this is our official Community Dojo site, where we launched with 6 best practice guides on the most relevant community building topics. And so, the the roundtable that we hosted with Donnie was really a pivotal move to get this site up and going. And we worked with a set of contributors this year to go live and launch this site. So in the spirit of the Community Dojo, we will be testing this today now. So all of the conversations and the knowledge that we have are hopefully going to inform how we advance the Community Dojo, and also how we understand, what are the most relevant needs. So we're going to move into our warm-ups and getting to know you, and this will help you start getting a hang of how to interact with the slides. So we will be sharing a link in the chat, and let's see if we can get that in there for you. And this will open up on your web browser. So I just put in the chat, please go to that link. And what will happen is you will open your own web browser. So we'll start to see everyone's little dots popping into the Google Slides. And you're gonna go to slide 8 and copy and paste a pen and put it where you are in the world, so we can start to see where everyone is at. So for those of you that were just joining, you might not have this link, so let me resend it again. We are entering into the warm-up activities and the mode where we can start engaging with the slides. So it's great to see everyone popping in there. We have it running up and copying pins. So we're gonna see where everyone's at. So far, almost balanced. I guess I should add my pin as well. And you'll see on the right-hand side, there's a set of pins already for you too that you can drag and drop. Oh, no worries, Jason. Thanks for letting us know. We have some other folks. So we'll give everyone a minute. We see, yeah, people are still rising in, 10 plus. Oh, the site is spinning for Tom. Hopefully it will reload. We'll make sure everyone can get access to it. That'll just be an important part as we move into the Unconference. Perfect. Glad it's loaded, Tom. Fantastic. So we will give just one more minute. It's important that we just test and learn how to use it, and then Adam will kick us off into the Unconference. But it looks like a majority of folks are getting into the site based off the numbers and all of the little animal dots. I think we had one new person join, so I'm going to give you the link to the site. Sorry to keep bombarding the chat there, but just want to make sure everyone can access it. Awesome. And so Adam, do you want to help guide us in? It's great to see where everyone is at, but we'll kick us into the Unconference. And again, if you have any other issues getting access to it, just pop a note in the chat and we'll be there to help as Adam guides us through the next steps.
Great. There we go. Okay, so not sure if folks have done an Unconference before, but I'm going to try to do a good introduction to how Unconferences work. Then we're going to spend a fair amount of time establishing topics to talk about, which itself actually often ends up being a really good conversation. So you all will each have an opportunity to nominate a topic to talk about and lead that topic. And then if we have more topics than we have time for and space for, we're going to do a voting process. We're going to take a break, like a 5-minute break just to stretch. And during that time, Rachel, Michelle, and I are going to be frantically placing you all in Zoom breakout rooms based on what you've voted for and said you want to talk about. Then we'll go into the breakout rooms. There'll be 4 actually. Potentially is what we're thinking. We'll see how it shakes out. The whole thing will be kind of emergent. We'll have that set of conversations, and then we'll come back together as a full group at the end and do some share outs. So that's what you can expect for the rest of the time. So an Unconference is a meeting in which the agenda is set by participants in real time. So that enables you to talk about and work on what you want to. And it's a fluid format that enables connection and emergence. So first, we're going to start just by kind of creating the container of the Unconference. And so just starting with some meeting norms. The first is just to be present and have fun, especially when we get into the breakout conversations. One of the sort of principles of Unconferences, you get out of it what you put into it. So, as opposed to sessions where you're just kind of like multitasking and listening on the side, hopefully we're able to create a space where you're able to actually dive in, engage, talk about the things that are meaningful to you, and have fun. So in that spirit, please be open-minded, assume the best of intentions from everybody. I think one important norm is sometimes called step up and step back. So if you're the type of person who often, kind of drives and sometimes hogs the conversation, please be aware of how much you're talking and whether that's allowing others to talk or not. And if you're the type of person that oftentimes is, kind of fades into the background and isn't the first to speak, we invite you to step up and say what's on your mind and voice yourself. So with both of those things happening, it ends up being richer conversations. So in that spirit, let others finish what they're talking about before sharing their ideas. Be patient. Let everyone speak. Just other things is just introduce yourself when you get into these breakout rooms. And be conscious of mute if you have background noises, all those things that we've become experts in COVID-19 times. So the first thing we wanted to do is just align on the meeting goals. Why are we here? What's the overall framing for this meeting? One thing we wanted to do is just try this generative and collaborative virtual meeting format. We hope that these conversations will help chart the future of the group network and the Community Dojo. Ever since the beginning of this program, we've tried to really develop the program in partnership with the group leaders that it's meant to support. We hope that we're able to create a space where we have, you're able to have useful conversations to help your groups succeed in the next year. Or if you're thinking of starting a group, help you on that journey. And we hope that this process also helps create relationships between all of you, which is really one of the most important outcomes of this program. So that was what we came in with in terms of our meeting goals. So we invite you to, does that resonate with you? Is that why you came? Are there other things that you want to get out of this meeting? We invite you to use the chat to contribute there. I'll just pause for a beat before we move on. All right. Well, we hope that those are your goals as well. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about how unconferences work. So anyone can propose a topic for conversation. We're going to use virtual post-its in a moment to collect those topics. So basically what you're doing is starting a conversation. That session can begin with an idea. It could be a question you have, a problem you have, a doubt, an opinion, a story. An important thing is that you do not need to be the expert in that topic, just someone who wants to learn and wants to learn with others. So you'll have a chance to, so we're gonna write these topics down, but you also have a chance to pitch that topic in front of the whole group. So that'll start to kind of have a bit of a conversation. So please don't, you might have 12 things you want to talk about. Please try to limit it to two topic proposals per person. And really, I think in this session, we're only going to have time for one set of conversations. So you're not going to be able to host more than one of those conversations anyways. So if you're proposing a topic, you are also agreeing to host a breakout room for it. And we'll talk more about what that means in a second. Again, I said we'll only have time for one session. And we'll have between 2 and 4 breakout rooms during this session based on what we end up with. And we'll vote on those topics to figure out which ones to create. So a few unconference principles. Sometimes the founding principles of an unconference is sometimes called open space technology, and whoever comes are the right people. So, sometimes you can say like, oh, there's not enough people for this conversation, or maybe we don't have the right people in the room, but this is sort of saying that whoever comes are the right people. So work with what you have and great things can come out of it. Whatever happens is the only thing that could have happened. So sometimes you come into certain conversations or certain sets of work with expectations. And so that's sort of letting some of that go. When you're doing this as a full day, what ends up happening is these sessions start to overlap and then they go long or they go short if there's nothing really to talk about. So some other aspects typically for unconference type events are whenever it starts is the right time and whenever it's over, it's over. Obviously, we're all together in this one virtual space with a limited time. So we're going to be hosting one session, but how those might apply is once you get into a conversation and if say you have a 10-minute conversation and that's all that needed to happen, and feel free to just end that conversation and then go join another group. So you're free to hop between conversations in this format, and that is what the law of 2 feet is. And basically what that is if you're in a place where you're not either learning or contributing, we invite you to go somewhere else. Go to a different conversation. So in this process, remember, go where you can learn and contribute. The law of 2 feet is the law of 2 clicks. Just pop out of the room that you're in and you'll join the kind of overall lounge area, and Rachel will be there to help chat with you. Who knows, maybe there'll be a lounge conversation happening. but she'll also be able to direct you into a different breakout room. Yeah, and just people choosing your topic or not, it's not a reflection of you. Again, whoever is there are the right people. And yeah, and so in terms of choosing topics, a good topic is one that is not too big or too small. You'll see some examples of some topics. There's actually already some topics populated from some contributors from the Community Dojo in some of our next section. So again, we'll only have one session, so it'll so the start and end times have a bit less flexibility. We will be giving you a warning with 5 minutes and 1 minute before the end of those conversations. All right, so now we're going to get into this part where we propose topics. So in the same way that you were able to manipulate the slides yourself when you added pins, you're able to propose topics on this slide. And so actually I'm going to go ahead and make another blank sheet here, just in case we need extra space. So if there's a topic you'd love to talk about in a small group, write it on one of these Post-its in the form of a single sentence or question and include your name. You can see some of the topics that folks like Michelle and Adam Riley, Landon, Masal, Tony Carcamo were interested in talking about. I'm actually not sure if those folks are here, but things like how to connect with local universities or your local industry groups. How do you encourage ongoing member engagement, including online? How do you get the right kinds of guest presentations? One that I'm interested in is, are there any causes or movements that the group network should work on together? So please, if you have an idea for something that you would like to talk about, please enter it on a Post-it, and we're just going to wait for a few minutes and see what emerges.
As a reminder, you guys can navigate through slides 17 and 19. It looks like we have a lot of people already on those, but yeah, you guys can just navigate, click a Post-it anywhere, and just start typing away. And just as a reminder, if you are putting a topic, I don't know if we had said this, but just please make sure, let you put your name. I think everyone is doing that practice, but that'll be important for us when we read the topics out loud. I still see a lot of people typing. We'll give it, definitely just a couple more minutes. We want to make sure all the thoughts and ideas are out on the table.
Okay, maybe one more minute. I'm actually going to stop my share and go into gallery view myself. And so hopefully, y'all have the presentation yourself, so you can look at it yourself as we work on it too. All right. So let's go ahead and have each of you who proposed a topic unmute yourself and then pitch that topic. Sort of tell us what you wanted to talk about, why it's important to you, and then we're just going to go through each one. Let everybody have a chance at the microphone. So I'm going to start with slide 17, and we're going to start with Craig, and we're just going to go to the right from there, and we're going to get. Actually, Craig, I see you have 2 on there. So, but let's just stay in order though. So, Craig, how about you go first and talk about your first idea that you'd like to talk about?
Currently have had a meet in-person group that has kind of gone on hiatus, and I'd like to get it jump-started again, but doing it virtually, and just wondered what was the best platform to kind of, hold those meetings, whether it's, Zoom, or if you had any recommendations on something else that works well and kind of fosters interaction, I guess.
Great, thanks. I think, is that Mark?
Yes, that's me.
Great.
I have a discussion that some people don't really want to deal with necessarily. It's about being a CAD manager, trying to somehow rein in the home worker to some sort of a standard as far as doing their everyday job, how to do so without basically offending someone, saying you can't do that, yet you can't be there to show them the right way. I need to find a good way to support someone remotely and give them the interest in the reasons that I'm explaining to them, so that I don't have to go back and check on them the next day.
Great. Rodrigo, you want to share what you're interested in talking about?
Hi, everyone. It's something that bothers me a lot, especially recently in this pandemic times, that I feel sometimes overwhelmed by the number of new technology that it's emerging, and the constant need to learn and to engage in new apps, new softwares. And I really struggle sometimes with if I am overwhelmed. I imagine how it is to youngsters that is just starting their careers, and I think it's challenging. It's a challenge to me to engage everyone, to keep learning, and I don't know. It's something like that.
Thanks, Rodrigo. Matt, do you want to share your topic? And feel free to use the chat. Sometimes even, if you have that same question, or, we're going to vote in a second, but if you have that same question, or if you even have tips, that's actually interaction and data that's valuable in and of itself. So, even if we don't end up talking about CAD management in a work from home environment, for example, in this session, if Mark then knows that 3 other people here want to have that conversation eventually, then that can spur a conversation later. So that's another. So feel free to use the chat in that way to connect. But Matt H.
Hi, everyone. So I'm an MEP specialist in Colorado, and I love the dojo website, but looking at the map, there really is, it's pretty sparse in my region. Basically, closest dojo groups I found are in Arizona and New Mexico, and obviously BIM adoption is very regional. So it's, for me, I'm kind of looking at what do we do from a square one approach in my region to gather the other engineers in my area and start that discussion. Don't know where to start, as we discussed in earlier meetings this week. It's always the difficulty is finding the people and the time to do that. So just wondering, using that platform, how I can find people to join that group with me and help find people to lead that with me.
That's great. That's the type of problem that we, created the great group network to help situations like that. Coalescing enough energy to get things going. And I know Landon Messall, who may or may not, I don't know if Landon's here, has been working on that in the southeast of the U.S. Okay, Craig.
Kind of springing off of Matt's comment and Rashaba's after mine is, you've done this, you've started a group. How do you advertise? How do you get people and draw people there? How do you let people know where to go and promote it?
Got it. I'm gonna, so Rashaba, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but pinged me on chat and said that his microphone's not working. So his topic here was how to expand his group, attract more folks, and spread the word. So I'm gonna kind of cluster that together with what you have there, Craig. But if it's a different topic, Rashaba, feel free to put that in the chat. Looks like Tom Richardson has a another topic.
Yeah, and I think my topic is similar to like Craig's, and just kind of getting more people to attend. We do pretty good on our monthly meetup groups, but we also have a weekly meetup group, and we're just trying to get better attendance at that.
Got it. Great. Let's see. And all right, I'm going to go to the next page here. So some of these were from people who I actually haven't checked the attendance. Do we have Adam Riley and Tony and Landon on this session or no? Because otherwise I'll delete their ideas.
Yeah, I'm here. I just didn't have any notes.
Hey, Adam. I don't see Tony, right?
Correct.
I'm going to move his off of here. Adam, you want to share?
Yeah, so that was kind of the same as Tom just said, trying to get more members to show up to our meetings and participate, because we'll get some to show up, but most of them will just sit there and listen. We'd rather have them contribute or ask questions or something like that.
Okay. So is that the same topic as what we have here? So this is sort of almost like marketing and attracting people, and your topic seems like it's maybe more about engagement once people are in the door, but maybe that's close enough. I don't know.
I think they overlap a little, but mine was more geared toward getting more people in interacting once they're there. I think Tom's was more about getting them in.
Okay, cool. It's gonna do one of these. We'll see. All right. Michelle.
I had put encouraging guest presentations and web connection. For example, in our group, we use Microsoft Teams, and not a lot of people were engaging on the Teams site. So even though I push it every week, just, encourage them to put their thoughts and questions on there. No one is really brave enough to do that. So I don't want it to be a one person, platform.
Michelle, do you think that that is similar enough to Adams to kind of cluster that over there in terms of?
I think they were pretty close.
Okay, I'm gonna make this kind of a big topic here. Let's see.
It almost kind of seems too, it's like when you, the forms of potentially when you get them in the door and then how to get that engagement. It's like, are there tools maybe that will help with that, or the types of prompters or starters? At least that's kind of where my mind's going with it.
All right, and is Landon here? No. Okay. And oh, Adam, this is a cool topic. I'm gonna, Adam Riley, ask you to speak about this one too here.
Yeah, so that one is more about each user group being more connected to each other, kind of to lean on each other for support, ask questions, help build their networks, stuff like that. Building a bigger community more globally.
Great. I kind of had two that I was interested in talking about. One is Rachel and I have started talking about creating a leadership council for the Autodesk Group Network that would be a structure that might enable stability and longevity and innovation for this community. And during AU, because there were so many great sessions about like diversity and inclusion, I actually thought that this topic was the one that I wanted to talk a bit more about, which was, are there causes or movements that the group network should work on together? Like, you know, there's so many great conversations happening like at AU about diversity and inclusion in AEC. Like what might the group network program have to gain from that conversation and also contribute to it? And is there a set of things like that we might want to kind of decide as a group to work on? Open data standards, you've heard about that a lot this week. What's Group Network's role in that? I'll just put these both here too. Okay, Tom Richardson, you got another one here?
Yeah, I got one more. We have a very strong network, kind of Civil 3D focused folks, but just trying to figure out how to bring more people like the Revit folks and more GIS people and things like that into our group so that we have, you know, kind of a wider reach. I know like when I go to a Revit user group meeting, like I always learn something from them and they're always like super excited about asking me questions from a civil perspective. And so I'd like to see more of that within our group.
Awesome. Great. It looks like there are some topics on. All right, so we've got Alexander.
Is it Alexi?
Alexi, sorry. CAD, do you want to pitch that, Alex?
Hello, yeah. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to talk about CAD management by 1, 2, 3 persons and users more than 1, 2, 300 all around the world. Remote users, freelancers, and so on. How to do it, how to program it, how to share it, how to load it, and so on. First of all, about AutoCAD and AutoCAD-based software.
Okay, great. So there was another topic around CAD management that
yeah, at slide 17, as I remember.
Alexi, do you think that that is close enough to Mark's conversation that that is a conversation?
I think it does.
Okay, great. I'm gonna.
Thank you.
Great.
Thanks, Alexi.
All right, there's one here that doesn't have someone's name on it, which is, what are suggestions for reaching out to users who need help but won't ask? Is there somebody want to claim that topic? Okay.
Lone topic.
Going once, going twice. Okay, great. All right. And then as things were coming in, I was wondering, like before everybody had put all these great ideas on there, I was like, hey, should we just have a full group conversation? That's another valid way that we could go forward. You know, so for example, if we wanted to talk just about sort of this big connected topic of getting people in the door and how to engage people once they're in the door, we could just all stay together. But that, it seems to me like we should vote. So I'm gonna, you know, even like Mark and Alexi, for example, if this ends up being a conversation around CAD management that just the two of you want to have, I would think it would be awesome if we were able to create that space for you. That's kind of the whole point here. So we're not going to use the voting dots. I'm going to do a little bit of slide quick configuration real quick. And then there's going to be a way for you to write your first choice and your second choice for what topic you want to join. And then we'll go from there. So give me 1 second to get these on the voting slides. And so yeah, this will probably take maybe 1 or 2 minutes, and but take this time to reflect on what you would like to talk about. Almost done, halfway done at least.
Fast, Adam.
Not as fast on Google Slides as I am on PowerPoint, actually. Getting better.
Adam is quite the wizard at these types of facilitation things. It's always best to, I kind of wish I had the same skill sets that he does, and still learning halfway there. Wait.
I put a question out to the group to see if anybody had started a user group for their company or for a region. So let's see here. Jennifer responded that she has for her company, SEH. Jennifer Schmitz.
Great. That was where we met you last year, Michelle. I think you were thinking of starting a group
Yep.
last year, and now you have started a group and you have a whole council and a whole training program and everything. So I'm sure you'll be able to talk
Definitely
about
work.
Okay, I think I have everything. And so, all right, so I'm going to share my screen again just to kind of orient you to what we've got here. And then we're going to spend a couple minutes indicating what topics we want. And then we're going to configure the rooms. So let's see, share my screen. Okay, here we go. So you can see I've got, there's 3 different slides here. Actually, this is one topic. Okay, so if you're interested in having this conversation around CAD management, and that's your first choice, put your name there. If it's your second choice, put your name there too. So indicate, please just choose one first choice and one second choice. And there's the topics should be spread out across slides 21, 22, and 23. And if I missed anything, I'm sorry. I don't think I did, but let me know or fix it. So we're going to give folks a minute here to enter their names, and of course, feel free to add to the list.
Yeah, especially if there are some, since we do see that people are, the company internal specific groups, if that's something that would be valuable for you guys to have a breakout room and just, between you 3 or 4 talk, definitely just add a white sticky. There's some free slides on 24.
What was that, Rachel? I don't think I got that.
If they, with the company internal practice groups, I don't think topic sticky for that, but if that was something that those 3 or 4 wanted to talk about, we do that. I'll just write that as a sticky.
So while you're doing that, also Sandy Morrow has started an internal user group, and Tom Richardson has one for the Austin area, but allows members from anywhere. So I thought I'd share that with everybody.
Yeah, thanks.
Rachel Andrews cannot access the slides.
Let me resend the link for you.
I was gonna say I could put. Are you putting the link in, Rachel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see if that works for you, Rachel. It should open in the web browser, hopefully, and let me know if it doesn't, and I can try to give you direct access if that does not work.
Okay. I am if anybody needs more time, please let us know. But I think right now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the configurations part where we're going to create the breakout rooms and assign you to the breakout rooms based on what you've indicated here. So it's going to take us 5 minutes. So we invite you to take a bio break, stretch, nourish yourself, check your email, check social media, do whatever you need to do, and we will be back very soon. Rooms. So thanks for bearing with us. I think hopefully it wasn't too painful. So we've got 4 rooms. The first room is going to be kind of marketing and engagement for your group. And I've got 2 hosts for that. Tom Richardson and Craig, and then we've got the attendees there. Second conversation is going to be CAD management, and host on that one is Mark. The third room is going to be movements and the Autodesk Group Network, and I'm going to be the host on that. And the fourth room is going to be interconnecting groups with Adam Riley as the host. And so some of these conversations will be small, you see, like it's just going to be Jen and I talking about movements, potentially, although, things may shake out slightly differently. We'll see how it goes. But that's fine. Like, I'm really curious to talk with Jen, hear her ideas and some of her thoughts, share some of mine. And then, even if that's just a 5-minute conversation and then we hop into room 1 or hop into somewhere else, and that's fine. That's sort of part of the unconference principles. So I'm going to prepare for the breakouts. So for the host, ideally identify a note taker for this session, but really anyone can add notes. As you see here, we can all work on this document at the same time. We've prepared some notes templates for you. So you've got, put your topic name here, host, and then indicate a note taker, and you can just start taking notes. If you need more space, you can use this page, copy, and kind of add as many pages as you'd like. This creates a nice record so that everybody can see what people have talked about. And yeah, maybe feel free to, like, one option as a host is to start just by getting a round of everyone's initial thoughts. But don't spend all your time in introductions, so you can get to some substantive conversation. And we only have about 30 minutes left in this. So we'll probably come back together with 5 minutes so that we can all have a shared conversation at the end. But hopefully you're able to get some good meaty conversation. For participants, you can exit the breakout room at any time. Rachel will be in the lounge, and you can get placed in another room. Listening only and abstaining is a-okay. And we'll give you a 5-minute warning and a 1-minute warning before we come together as a full group. Is everybody ready?
And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit open all rooms, and you'll get a notification on your screen to go to that room. If you were not assigned, you'll just exist here in this lounge space that we're calling it, which is where we all convene back together, so we can figure it out from there. But yeah, so I'm going to hit open and have a great discussion. And like Adam said, we'll give you a 5-minute warning and a minute warning. And yeah, it'll be great. Welcome back, everyone.
Hi.
How was it?
Yeah, it's good.
Good? Good.
Yeah. Very
You saw we
interesting.
didn't want to leave the room.
Like, keep me in the room forever. We don't want to come back.
Like, I know you want us to leave the room. We're still talking.
Never enough time. We won't go back.
Hey,
Now we're going to have to go find each other on LinkedIn.
I'm more than happy to set up another room, we can all stay here all day. Okay, maybe not all day, but awesome. We have people joining back in. We still have the people in the room. Eventually, in a minute, everyone will be back. So should be good. I see Adam's back. Hi, Adam.
Okay, are we back here?
Yep, back with everyone. We were room hopping. It's fun. It's like Claudia was saying, she's like, I was walking around to all the rooms because she was hopping in a few.
Okay. I'm learning this. It's taken some time, but I'm learning it.
Yeah, well, I'm glad. It's definitely not intuitive necessarily at the very beginning, but slowly we start to understand how it works.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Thanks for everyone for, I saw the notes coming in. I was reading through them. That was great. I think we're going to go in. So, we're wrapping up at the top of the hour. But our plan was, and Adam, sorry if I'm kind of stepping in right here as you're typing, but was to just do some share outs from each room. So just some highlights, key pointers, or something that kind of really came from that discussion that you'd like to share with the entire group. And we can kick it off. I see as Adam is putting up those share out slides, he'll be typing notes for us. But we can start with our room 1 with the engagement.
Actually, I think we should decide real quick, like, there's 3 minutes until like, the top of the, or now there's 2 minutes until the top of the hour. So we can choose to go, 5 minutes over or something like that, if we want to hear what other groups did, or we can choose to just kind of do closing thoughts. I think maybe what we should do is just kind of continue with the share outs, keep it quick. And if you have to drop off, please do. Does that sound okay?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, and if you do have to drop off, feel free, if you have any closing thoughts, just pop them in the chat. Would love to hear them, before you leave.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Okay, great. So the first breakout room was marketing and engagement for your group.
Michelle, you're the note taker. I'll let you.
Do I need to share these?
No, just
Or you can
no,
see
just
them.
say a couple things about what you talked about. Any big takeaways you had?
We were saying it's hard to engage people in conversation, and let's see here. Like a couple people have posted things and they get a few likes, nothing more. Let's see here. Oh, came up with a good pointer that came out was when trying to get some people more interactive with each other, you could post a tip and then tag somebody else within the group to get them to say something. That way, it gets more people involved. Also incentivizing meetings, obviously with COVID, probably not doing lunches anymore, but maybe some sort of door prize. Let's see here. And then make sure that there's value and it's worth people's time, that there's meaningful content to the group. And then let's see. And then it probably touches on the other interconnections when presenting and with attendance. If you reach out to another group, see if they'd be willing to present what they've presented to their group. That way there's no duplication of work, because these groups do take a lot of time. And also posting your group meetings on LinkedIn to get some more involvement with external groups.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of success.
And trying different platforms to see what works.
Right.
As far as communication.
Had a lot of good tips. We'll mine those notes and put anything that's missing from the community that's on the Community Dojo. We'll add it there, so we have a good ongoing list of tips like that on the Community Dojo.
Sounds good.
All right, CAD management. I already see a couple notes coming in here on that. Mark or someone else, do you want to share?
Okay, the one lady I was speaking with is going literally from South Africa to Spain and has users internationally. So the issue becomes basically keeping everything all over the world consistent. So we were talking basically, you need to be able to push an installation to the user on a regular basis with updates, so they don't have to worry about what is standard, what is not, how is it being handled. You need to be able to take all your standards and have your operators be comfortable with the fact that things are current, they are on proper procedures and guidelines. My issue that I run into is people with multiple skill levels. I have a student who could care less basically how to draw, that I try to explain things to him and he just has no interest. Yet I've got a guy who's an SME who's been doing this for 30 years. I found the hardest part here is to work with one skill level and not bore the other one to death or put one to sleep with the details. The solution is basically, when they're in the office, sit down, talk to them, pay attention to what they do, watch how they do things and learn their methodologies so you can inform them of a better method. And then you don't have that concern anymore. You're going to have to trust people to a point. But when they do their first art project, review it with them and say, okay, here's what we didn't want to see, here's what worked best.
Great. Thank you. Movements. I think Jen was going to represent our conversation.
Yes, I'm Jen Thomas with Via Technic, and Adam and I discussed how there are a lot of minority groups who would probably benefit from working together to work to increase the technology and construction deficit that we're facing. There's a lot to learn, and innovation is a key part of improving technology in construction. And innovation,
Excuse me.
innovation almost always comes from diversity, and that there's a 18% increase in revenue for companies that take advantage of that. So we discussed forming maybe monthly meetups where we pose a problem that the construction industry is facing to these various groups that have developed across the country or the world even, and just get people's opinions and give them voices so that their ideas are heard. And with that, we were also thinking of looking into a leadership council with some members of Autodesk to give these communities a voice.
Great, thanks, Jen. It was a great conversation. Interconnecting groups. Adam, Riley, or the other, I forgot the other person. Is there something to share on that? Did we lose Adam?
Yeah, we lost Adam.
Okay, cool. And let's see, the other person on that was Sandy. I don't know, Sandy, if you're interested in saying a few words.
We were talking about how to find groups and how to connect people. And then we talked at the end about how our companies don't want us talking with other companies. But there again, learning new processes and workflows from those other companies and bringing it back to ours. Just that whole, how do we find each other and how do we encourage our company that it's important that we interact with our peers in other companies are some of the biggest ones.
Great, thanks. I hope that as the group network sort of matures, that those types of interconnections happen more, and it's there's more success stories than there is things that make management scared. All right. So the last bit here is really just some closing thoughts. So feel free to use the chat. I know that I had a great time in this hour and a half, both hearing from all of you about the ideas and topics that you wanted to talk about, as well as the great conversation during the breakout. I hope we can keep these types of conversations going. As part of the group network, we have the group leader hub. We have actually a Slack channel for people that are more involved with the Community Dojo. And so I think we'll be scheming on how to kind of keep this momentum going throughout the next year and into the future. But yeah, just welcome any closing thoughts. I'm starting to see some come in terms of people liking the format, and I think it's always a good sign when the breakouts end and you're like, no, I don't want the breakouts to end. We have a good conversation. So I hope that you all had a good time. It felt like it was a good use of your time, and you made some connections, had some conversations, had some ideas for the future. My children are knocking at the door, so that's a good segue for me to turn it over to Rachel to close it up.
No worries. Yeah, I put in the chat there, just, for follow-ups, we are closing, and I know, like Adam said, some conversations don't want to end, so definitely keep those going, connect with each other. If you had a really good conversation on LinkedIn, I hope these will be valuable connections, and it was really great to have you all. So yeah, just so that you can get the recordings and the slide decks, all the notes and information, the form is the best way to do that. So I can't tell you more to do that. And of course, you guys have the links to the slides anyways. So we'll send the recording over after that. So thanks for all joining. It was really great. And I'm glad that this format seemed to work really well.
And you'll include the link to the slides in the email that you send out?
Yes, correct.
Because if I close it, then I'm like, now it's gone.
Oh, yes. And before you complete that form, that Airtable one, I'll resend it just so it's the most recent. Complete that. You'll put in your name and your email, and then that will let us send you the direct link.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So that's it. Enjoy the waving bear and have a great
All right. Thanks, y'all. Looking forward to more.
Thank you.
See you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Simon's in the house.
Hi, Simon.
All right.
All right. Closing now. See ya, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.